Hi, this is Paul Walsh, the founder and CEO of a cybersecurity company called Medicert. We protect more people in crypto than every other security company in the world combined. We protect over 1.5 million crypto people on Telegram alone with a security bot. But yet we're not a crypto company. We just happen to be good in that space. So I'm looking at this Binance anti-phishing quiz, which is designed to train people in how to identify a phishing scam, how to avoid fraud, and how to avoid phishing. Like every single phishing quiz I've ever seen, including the most recent one from Google, in my personal opinion, they actually lead to a false sense of security because the questions and answers that they provide actually don't give you the right information. They're actually not true. And I'm going to go through this particular quiz and I'm going to unbundle the questions and answers and explain exactly why they need to change how they educate communities. And I believe it's actually possible that the $40 million breach at Binance recently, which they admitted was down to a phishing scam, I believe their phishing test may have showed the threat actors a weakness, a chink in their armor, and that is understanding phishing. And therefore, how do I actually protect my employees from phishing scams that then lead to massive breaches? 90% of all data breaches inside and outside of crypto start with phishing. It's a very simple social engineering technique that the threat actors use. And it's not getting sophisticated. It's actually staying pretty simple. So here, let's go through the quiz. And I'm actually going to get some of them wrong according to Binance, but in my world, in my opinion, I'm actually getting them right. But let's go through it all the same. So take the quiz. It's been a long day and you've arrived home and search for Binance on Google. After clicking on the first link, you arrive at this page. Okay, so clearly the URL here is not Binance, but I don't think it's a particularly, it's not a bad test, but it's not particularly useful because you're conditioning your people, your users, your employees to look at the URL, and presumably when you're satisfied that you're on the correct URL, then you're going to assume that you're safe. And that's not true because actually it's almost impossible to spot some phishing scams. But I'm just going to hit phishing because it's kind of obvious. The domain is not Binance. Okay, thank you very much. Next. Okay, so actually, here's where they're given the wrong information. The domain transfer protocol HTTP instead of HTTPS stands for secure, meaning communication between the browser and the website are encrypted. Some phishing websites, however, do implement HTTPS to trick users. Okay, actually, no, that's a good idea. That's a good thing. They've actually included that. That's a good tip. Next question. How convenient. Binance customer service has sent you a security update via Telegram. Executable, so clearly that's obvious. That's not going to be something that the Binance team will do, so I'm going to hit phishing. Great. They'll never contact you first on Telegram. Never download an executable. That's good. Okay, next question. Someone has just reached out to you on LinkedIn offering a great listing package. I know that they want all of their community members to hit phishing because Binance probably tells people, we will never contact you on LinkedIn, just like we don't contact you on Telegram. But actually, I have received legitimate requests from Binance to list on the exchange. So actually, I'm going to put legitimate, knowing that they're going to say it's wrong. But people will think it's legitimate if they legitimately are getting invitations through LinkedIn. Yep, oops, that's incorrect. They'll never contact you on LinkedIn, but they do. Next tip. Next question. You're getting ready to do some trading and head to Binance, landing on this page. I don't know. How should I know? It looks good. It looks like Binance, but it might not be. It could be phishing URL. Let's look closely. All right. I'm going to do legitimate. No, I'm going to do phishing just to see what the reason is they come up with. But as for a plug on Medicert, The only real way to know that this really is Binance.com is if you look up here, Binance.vision also is classified by MetaCert, so you'll get a green shield. That's how you know you really are on the right website. So let's put phishing. Oh, I got rid of the message. But as we could see, it was actually a legitimate website. It went through too quickly. Maybe you can pause the video and see the message. Help. Okay, so you've mentioned in a public group that you're having difficulties, blah, blah, blah. Binance will never contact you. Okay, of course they won't. So that's phishing. That's obvious. You're browsing through Twitter and you see following response on Binance tweet. Special offer. Okay, obviously they're never going to offer you a special offer and everybody knows that. But so it's phishing. There's no point in going into detail on that. Next question. Seems there has been an update to the storage wallets on Binance. Okay, it looks dodgy. Clearly it's a phishing scam because they're not going to contact you through this messaging service. So phishing, good job. Oh, hang on. Web address linked in this message is not Binance. So that's the only reason that I should be worried. Okay, next tip. The person has messaged you offering assistance, so you open their Telegram profile. I have no idea. How am I supposed to know? So I'm not sure. Let's choose phishing. Yep. Okay. They've put that address as their bio. They don't have a username. This is common tactic used by a Telegram scammer. Okay, well, that's really bad advice because it's very easy to create a username that looks exactly like a Binance employee. So that's poor advice that could lead to a false sense of security. Okay, that's good advice. They'll never contact you first on Telegram. Okay, I didn't ask to reset my password. You have received an email from Binance prompting you to reset your password, but you haven't asked to reset your password. Now, what you should do is nothing. What you should do is just delete the email because clearly somebody is trying to reset your password. Now, what you should do is make sure that you've got a very strong, unique password using an app like 1Password or LastPass. And if you've done that and it's a secure password, then you've no reason to worry. So the advice I would give is that you just delete the email and ignore it. It certainly isn't clicking on any of these buttons because I should assume it's a phishing link. So I'm going to put phishing. Oh, I'm incorrect. Okay, I guessed I would be. Email is from do not reply at post.binance.com, a legitimate Binance email address. Okay, well, that's ridiculous because how is anybody supposed to know that it's not a phishing link just because it comes from what looks like a legitimate email address? So it's very easy for a threat actor to send you an email that looks like it's from Binance. In fact, if I was going to do that, I would actually have something at Binance.com. I wouldn't have post.binance.com because that actually looks fishy. So that's a bit strange that they're even using that subdomain. Anyway, so it's poor advice. Do not do anything. Just delete the email. Don't assume it's from a legitimate source. Next tip. The email contains the anti-phishing code we set up for our account education. Not even sure what that is, but no idea. If you've received an unsolicited password reset email, it is advised that you change your password and contact Binance support. Why would you change your password? That doesn't make any sense. They're obviously unable to crack your password if they're trying to reset it. So it doesn't make any sense. That's poor advice. You've stumbled upon a giveaway of 2,500 Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. It must be your lucky day. Obviously, you haven't stumbled upon anything. So this is an obvious one, phishing. I'm not going to bother wasting any time on that. Oh, it says the domain is not Binance. And that's the only reason that I should be worried about a giveaway? Okay, that's not good advice, actually. because I shouldn't be relying on the domain name. They just shouldn't be giving out any giveaways. That's crazy. If anyone asks you to send money to any address, they're trying to scam you. Yes, they are. Next question. Strange. A pop-up has appeared asking you to move your funds to a new wallet. Clearly, that's going to be a phishing scam. No point wasting any time on that. The domain is not Binance.com. Okay, well, that's ridiculous. Because you should be training people not to pay attention to those kinds of warnings sometimes. And relying on the URL again is poor advice. So it's not going to be good enough to say to users, if you think you're on the real Binance website, because people are not going to constantly look for the URL, and you can't spot a phishing site using your eye. Again, here, green shield from Metacert. I know I'm on the right website. Next tip. The domain transfer protocol, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know that. You found yourself on a new cryptocurrency project webpage. Their site looks great, so you scroll down and you see this. Listed in Binance soon. I have no idea. Just put phishing. Yep, I'm good. Any listing announcement that is not announced by Binance means it's a fake. Well, actually, that's not true. I've seen companies promote the fact that they're being listed on Binance on their own website. So again, that's not really entirely accurate. Next question. Looks like you found your way to another giveaway. This time it's for 10,000 ETH. Awesome. Well, obviously there's never any giveaways, and people know that, so let's just do phishing. Let's not waste any time on that. Oh, here we go again. Domain is not. This is the only reason for not a giveaway? That's crazy. They should not be conditioning people into expecting free giveaways. Let's stop this madness. Stop conditioning people to clicking on links, expecting giveaways, and then making transactions just because it's the real domain name. They're not going to be safe. This is silly. Stop doing this, Binance. Next tip. Just trading is a common scam where people blah, blah, blah. Close that. Next question. Okay, so I got 10 out of 13. Obviously, I would get 13 out of 13, but because this is the only thing that I do. But the problem is, Binance and Google and pretty much every company that I've ever seen conduct a phishing training video or tests, they always ask people to look for the wrong things. So to summarize, do not rely on your eye alone to identify the URL, because it's very easy to create a phishing domain that looks legitimate. Do not look at the padlock and HTTPS, because over 90% of every new phishing scam uses a padlock. Over 43% of malware sites use a padlock, while 71% of illegal websites display a padlock. And that's all thanks to the fact that Let's Encrypt and a few other organizations are giving away for free automatically issued SSL certificates so that we can see an encrypted web. So don't trust the padlock. Only trust it for encryption, but nothing else. And then when it comes to emails, you cannot hover over links because they can redirect. Don't necessarily rely on the email address that it's coming from, because that's easy. It's easy to trick users into believing it's coming from a legitimate email. And just generally be aware that you shouldn't trust anything that's related to a special offer or a giveaway. Binance is telling you that you should look at the domain name to see if a giveaway is legitimate, but I think that's just bad practice. So thank you very much for getting to the end of the video. This is Paul Walsh from Metacert. If you want to install this browser add-on Kryptonite, go to metacertprotocol.com/Kryptonite.